One of the biggest stories of this week has been the future of abortion rights. More than 20 states are poised to ban or restrict abortions if the Supreme Court upholds a Mississippi law that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy or goes even further and overrules Roe versus Wade entirely. If that does happen, California could end up seeing a massive influx of women seeking abortion care. According to a recent study by the Guttmacher Institute, if Roe versus Wade falls and 26 states implement a total ban on abortion, California could see a near 3,000% in rise in women of reproductive age driving to the state for abortion access. That's roughly 1.4 million women, the majority of whom would likely come from one state, Arizona. NBC News correspondent Jake Ward is outside San Francisco's main abortion clinic, joins us now. So, Jake, first of all, explain to us why California is seen as an abortion safe haven for women who come from out of state.
Well, Joe, this state has, if anything, prided itself on making abortion services easily accessible, or as easily accessible as possible, to millions of women. The governor, Gavin Newsom, saying that this would be a state that supports reproductive rights going forward, no matter what happens in these other states. I'm standing right now in front of San Francisco General Hospital, the main metro hospital of San Francisco, and the clinic here that offers abortion services, the Women's Options Clinic, says that they will have to be ready. It is simply the case that this state is going to be the one place that many, many, many women across the country will have as an option for coming to get those services should the laws change in the rest of the country, Joe.
So, Jake, are abortion providers in California right now doing anything to prepare to deal with the potential influx of women seeking care?
Yeah, we've been speaking to people across the gamut of abortion services, whether it's the grant-making agencies that try to help people who cannot afford something like a plane ticket with their work. We've spoken to researchers who are looking at the after effects of either getting or being denied an abortion. And we spoke with the head of Planned Parenthood affiliates of Northern California about what it is that she thinks will come from this if it were to be the case that the rest of the country outlaws abortion. Here's what she had to say.
We're preparing to assume that we'll have a huge impact on our health centers, and we're preparing for that both in workforce, in our capabilities and in technologies and telehealth, and how we can, expand and reach patients. And I know we're not the only health centers doing that. The idea that because you put a ban on abortion means that people won't need abortions is illogical. People will need the same type of health care that they're getting today. Just because you put a barrier in front of them tomorrow doesn't mean that the need goes away.
Joe, again, the number one stat that really has jumped out in my mind from looking at this is that 3,000% more women will have as their only nearby option for abortion services the state of California. That is the kind of influx that this state could see.
That is a huge increase. So, Jake, what are experts saying could happen in those states that do ban or restrict abortion access?
Well, we spoke to the author of the nation's largest study of what happens when you can and cannot get an abortion when you want one. And I asked her what it is that we think we will see in the rest of the country should these bans go into effect. Here's what her research says. Have a listen.
So it's not just about the end of the pregnancy. In terms of physical health, you'll see in those states that restrict access to abortion that people will be more likely to be in poverty, will be less able to take care of their existing children, and they'll also they'll have children at a time when they weren't ready, and that actually can have emotional consequences as well. We find worse maternal bonding for women who are forced to carry that pregnancy to term than for women who are able to get their abortion and have a child later under better circumstances.
And Joe, next week, the state of California and a consortium of providers here are expected to debut a Future of Abortion forum that will offer guidelines as to how states like California should prepare. That's the kind of preparations going on here in this state, Joe.
All right. Jake Ward, thanks so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.